What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning US time, so come by and say hello. All right, it is time to do our weekly series, the 5 biggest takeaways, or my 5 biggest takeaways from the most recent town hall. Again, for those who might be new or need a little bit of a reminder, this is not a summary. There's some other fantastic content creators out there that put together summaries, both written and in video format. So definitely check those out. Show them some support. What I'm looking at here is the official Splinterlands town hall summary posted on the PeakD blog from the team, and we're going to use this as a little bit of a visual reference as well as the notes that I put together on this other screen. So before we even jump into it, I got to say that this was a fantastic town hall. I know it may not seem like that to many, but there were a lot of things in there. And as you can see, I even have some bonus items that I'm just going to briefly mention because I don't want this video to be super long. So we'll stay focused on the 5 things that I pegged, but even going through back on the summary, and I'm on my second listen or re-listen at this point to the town hall, there's still certain things that I am picking up here and there that are very exciting, and also to some might be very disappointing in terms of overall timelines, but I'm going to get into that in a moment. All right, so let's go ahead. Here is my visual cue. So the first thing, ECR to curb bots. Now I probably could have written a better note here, but Cryptomancer was on, and I appreciate all the work that Cryptomancer does for the team and was answering some tough questions. And here's the thing. One of the things with the upcoming reward rework that I'm concerned about, which I felt Aggroed was good about asking the question regarding bots, is how do we incentivize properly players to play more, but then also disincentivize bot behavior to farm rewards? So we didn't get a very clean answer to that. In fact, we got kind of a reiteration of what has been said before, but ECR is going to be used as a way to curb exploitative behavior. Now, I guess what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking about in terms of this reward rework, the current way that we have things, as it currently stands, is there is a daily quest. You go in, and depending on what league you're in, you get X amount of chests, and you open that chest, and then you're essentially done for the rest of the day, right? Sure, you can continue to play, but your returns will be diminished by the ECR that you have in terms of your DEC rewards. And obviously, as DEC has fallen in peg, it's gotten less and less incentivized to play. And I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon, considering the fact that DEC is not fully at its peg yet, meaning that it's going to go lower. So when we look at the new function that'll be coming in, the new rewards rework, what's going to happen is that you will always be incentivized to play just that one game more, just a little bit further in order to get a little bit more. Whereas right now, you don't have that incentive outside of just getting a little more DEC. But with this new upcoming reward shares, which is the term that we've heard used, right, or focus points, if you are continually getting more and accruing those throughout the day and throughout the season, it'll always be adding towards something extra. Now, here's the thing. When that first was announced, my immediate thought, as well as many others, was, okay, well, now bots just have even more incentive to play all day, right? Sure, their ECR stuff is going to dry out, but they're going to keep getting these reward shares, and they're going to farm cards, and that's going to be an issue. Well, again, this was used, or ECR was used as the explanation in terms of how the exploitative behavior was going to be curbed. So the conclusion that I'm drawing, and again, this is just me, and we don't have the full details yet, so this is still very, very speculative, but to tell you where my mind is at about this, where we're at right now from like the incentives for players to play is at like a 1, right? You do your basic daily quest, and then you're done. In the future, bot behavior, and exploitative behavior for bots is at like a 10, for example, right? Like if there was no ECR. So somewhere in the middle there, in my opinion, is what the team is trying to strike as a balance. So what they want is for bots to be hampered, yet there's that wiggle room where players are incentivized to play a little bit more before the bot behavior, or actually just any account behavior, becomes exploitative. And it's a very fine line, difficult to quantify, but it's there. There's just this small gap of space where we, as players, we will be incentivized to play more, but it's going to be curved or cut off by ECR, so that bots or multi-accounts or whatever, however you want to look at it, will not have the incentive to play, or not get rewarded for that, even if they may have the incentive. So again, I don't know if I'm explaining it right. Hopefully that makes sense, but this is kind of where I'm thinking right now, where it's not going to be go and play all day, right? Because at some point you, as a human player, are going to not see the incentive after a certain point. It's going to be marginal increases at best, but it's going to be more than it is now. And I think that's what the team is shooting for. They're not shooting for this massive to the moon type of behavior. They just want everyone to play a little bit more than they're playing now. And that, if you think about it, is going to add a significant amount of games across all of the different accounts that we have. So in a way, it will incentivize people to play more. It won't incentivize people to play all day, every day, and don't do anything else. Again, this is just my opinion and my speculative perspective at this point in time. So we'll see how it goes, but the fact that ECR is being used as this control mechanism, this kind of like dialing more or less of what kind of behavior the team wants to have, it's like, yes, everybody's going to want to play more, but just like a little bit more. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, number 2, the rewards rework is almost done. And so what we have been told is that early next week, they are going to be doing quality QA, quality testing. Oh gosh, I forgot what QA stands for, but quality assurance. Oh God, I know what it stands for, but if you know what it is, forgive me. They're going to be putting it into QA next week. And then after that, Mavs will be testing. So as it stands right now, I'm recording this on 5/3. Well, actually, no, they said this on 5/2, right? For the overall town hall. So mid-May, 5/9, or the week of 5/9, we can say, is when this will be going into QA, and then Mavs will be testing it afterwards. So if we look at the calendar, or the upcoming calendar, once this goes into QA, we'll be at like 1/3 to maybe half the month completed already, which means that Mavs will have a week, maybe 2 weeks to test it out, and then potentially have it go live at the end of the month, which is what the team is still expecting at this point in time. So if that ends up happening, we can look for not this season, but the season after this one to be the final season of which we have the current reward structure, and then the season following that. So really like end of May, early June, whenever that actually ends up going live, will be the first rewards rework season. So there is an end in sight here. And we do have a small bit of a timeline into where the team is at from a development standpoint. And the fact that it should hopefully be going into QA next week, and then is a great sign. And then, I think Mavs having a chance to test it for even just a week should be good. So I'm bullish on us getting it by the end of the month. Although I reserve the right to change that opinion at a later point in time. So we'll see. All right, number 3. This is probably my favorite part of the entire thing, and I got to throw a big shout out here to Bulldog and actually to Agrode. So there was actually a deep dive into the issues that the bots are causing from the community's perspective. Now, this is the first time I think Bulldog was on a town hall, but Bulldog has been a fantastic content creator first and foremost. If you haven't seen his channel, I'm sure you have had to have seen his channel by this point. But if not, make sure you go check him out and show some love. But Bulldog also does a lot of community management for the team now, and has his ear to the ground on what is going on from, what the general consensus is from a lot of the vocal and maybe even some non-vocal minorities and majorities within the community. So with that being said, Agro had Bulldog on and straight up asked, like, what are the top, couple of issues that are coming up from, the community? What are some of the things? What's the general sentiment out there? And Bulldog, to his credit, didn't pull any punches and said, like, it's bots, right? Bots is one of the big issues that we as a community have at least started to investigate further, right? For win trading behavior, for DEC draining behavior, for any kind of exploitative behavior that might be out there. There's just a lot of focus on bots. So let me be very clear now. Was there any kind of major resolution from this conversation? No. But for anybody saying that the team is just ignoring this now and not really, paying attention or brushing this off to the side, I mean, this was discussed as one of the main topics in the town hall. So what I'm trying to say is, like, the team, I know that the team is aware of it, and I know that the team is very well aware of it and trying to work on ways to improve the game from a foundational standpoint, right? So not like, let's go after this person or this person or this account that's causing this bad behavior. Let's find out, let's diagnose the problem rather than treating the symptoms. So we know that that's happening, but sometimes it's difficult for the community to see that. And so the fact that the team was talking about this very openly, and like I said, kudos to Bulldog and Agro for kind of tackling this head on. I just appreciate the fact that, this is the team, and this is a game and a project that is talking very openly about the things that plague it, right? There's nothing being thrown under the rug. There's nothing, being hidden off and stashed away in some dark closet somewhere. This is like, hey, we all want at the end of the day to create the best possible game, both the team as well as the community. And so having productive, constructive dialogue like this with the CEO, right, is fantastic. And I think that it's at least a starter for the conversation for people who may not have been aware on the team, because now it's officially part of the town hall. But again, like I said, I know that this is being looked at. Anytime these things are brought up, the team is so big now, right? And there's so many people who are really trying to tackle this from all different angles and have not just like, it's not just a vested interest because of the fact that they work there, but the fact that, like, I don't know, and this is probably getting a little too esoteric, but like, I honestly feel like we are part of something really special here. We are all collectively trying to make this one of the best projects in the space because we see the potential, we see the value, and, in all of our own different ways, we're trying to help elevate this game and this project into something amazing. And so, with that being the core of everybody's approach, to me, that's kind of one of the beautiful things about this. So I'm getting a little too out there right now, even for myself, but I just appreciated the fact that this conversation was had in as public of a forum as possible with people as high up as the CEO of the company. So we'll see how things play out, and we'll see, how exploits get addressed. But overall, I just appreciated the fact, kudos again to Bulldog for really tackling the conversation. And then Agro actually for also really just taking things head on and trying to figure out what the best solutions are. And you're never going to find the best solutions being live on air, right? And having to think on your feet. But again, I just appreciate the conversation being had. Okay, number 4, we have been told Validator sales are planned for the end of the month. Very exciting, unless you were expecting them to be at the beginning of this month, because that's when we were previously told. So the latest update that I have heard on Validator sales now is that they have been pushed to the end of the month. So I don't know where any of that stands. I don't think any of us really know where any of it stands outside of what has been given to us in terms of the pricing and tranche structure. So when that actually goes live will remain to be seen, but it's not happening now or anytime close to now. They're saying that it's going to be towards the end of the month, which if I go back to the rewards rework, makes me nervous about them launching 2 things at the end of the month. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think one of those is going to have to go either early or later. Okay, number 5. Look, this is a big one, and this one hits near and dear to my heart because I have been waiting for modern format now for close to 5-6 months. I mean, we were told modern format was going to be delivered in December with the launch of Chaos Legion, and we're now sitting at the beginning of May, and it's still not here yet, and it's still not coming anytime soon. So I have been telling everybody that modern format is a lot further away than people realize. It's not going to be just this boom, boom, boom. And so looking now at what Cryptomancer was saying and taking, his kind of analysis of what needs to be done in terms of additional development, I should say, additional development after the rewards rework is in place. He's saying modern format is going to take 2 to 3 weeks of additional development after ranked rewards. So I have been saying that there is no way that they release it less than 1 month after rewards rework go into play. And now I feel like I've been somewhat proven right in the sense where if rewards rework goes into place at the end of May, or we'll just say beginning of June, at that point in time, Cryptomancer is going to, get down and dirty with the code, and we'll need 2 to 3 weeks of development at that point in time. And then I'm assuming some time for QA and potentially some time for, Mavs to go in and test things out. So 2 to 3 weeks plus maybe that additional 1 to 2 weeks puts us at a full month out. So at this point in time, I'm saying it, I'm calling it right now. We are not going to get modern format until July. Just calling it. Again, not saying this to be bearish. I'm just saying it to be realistic because this is how I see things playing out over the next couple of months. So those are the main 5 things. There's a couple of bonus items here that I wanted to just mention, and I'm not going to get really too big into it, but the first developer that they had on, I forgot their name. The developer for Cronjob, Z416175. That's not difficult to remember, was talking a little bit about land. I didn't want to mention anything about land in here because, who wants to talk about land? We don't know anything right now. But we are hearing that Q3 is the tentative time that we'll get some type of sneak peek. Again, Q3 is still very far off in my opinion, and I'm not optimistic about anything when it comes to land. The second thing here, there's a board meeting set for this Thursday, May 5th, and I believe what the plan is they're going to present certain things to the board, and then hopefully next week we will get an updated not SPS, but Splinterland's overall roadmap from Hardpoint. So that might be something to look forward to next week. I'm not saying that it will happen, but I know that they were waiting for this board meeting before they went ahead and updated the roadmap. Then there was a nice little mention about Gladiator cards having some kind of benefits on land. That's cool. It's a cool thought, but that's about it. And then Weirdbeard has been very coy about some new tournament mode that should be going live within the next couple of months. So I know that Weirdbeard is excited about it, which gets me excited about it. But, I'm frustrated about the fact that we've just been teased for so long. Come on, Weirdbeard, give us some meat, give us something. I don't even know what to expect in terms of a new tournament mode. Right now we have, what is that called? We have your live tournaments or single elimination tournaments. We have anytime tournaments and we have sit and go tournaments. So if it's a new tournament mode in that kind of reference, I don't even know what we would expect, but it should be interesting. And as somebody who is really starting to appreciate the way that tournaments have become a bigger part of the Splinterlands experience overall, I am very excited for it. So that's all I have in this video for you guys. I want to say that I think I strongly recommend giving it a listen. There was a lot of really good stuff in there. Things that I'm not even covering here, things that I missed. I'm listening back on my second listen right now, just because, again, I found a lot. I found a lot out of it. And while it's not all super bullish in the sense that, oh man, we're going to get this stuff soon. In fact, some of it was very sobering. There's still a lot of really cool things in the works. And there's a lot of alpha dropped in the sense that, okay, we have a better idea of what to expect and when to expect certain things. It's very different from last week's, where last week was, very much how the sausage is made. Having Cryptomancer on and do a little bit of a deep dive into ranked rewards as well as modern and wild was great. And nothing against any of the other team members, but Cryptomancer has been around for a while. So similar to Matt, whenever he comes on and speaks, everybody listens because it's just, he's got the clout for it. So yay, Cryptomancer. There was one other thing that I saw on here that I wanted to call out because I don't even remember hearing this, but it's in the official summary. They're looking at DEC lending contracts. So the team has thought about building the option to give cards to a smart contract and being able to take out loans against them. So it integrates more DeFi into the game. Now, I made a video about this maybe a week or two ago talking about what lending would look like in the game. But I also said that I don't expect this to be around for potentially years, or at least not until next year or not until after land. It would seem like something so far away. So for this to be mentioned somewhat casually here, I don't know what to think about it yet. I think that it's exciting for me from a DeFi perspective, and I really like it. I also think that there's going to need to be a lot of education and instructional like material put with this, and just because you can get your loan margin called and you would lose all of your cards. So this needs to be very thoughtful. And I've said this since from the beginning. So it's not like I'm just nervous because they're mentioning it now. It's just something that needs to be very thoughtful in how it's implemented. And if I am being honest, I don't know that now is like the best time to go about doing that. There's just a lot of other things on the docket. So that being said, I mean, I don't even know how the team is allocating resources, and it's not like I don't want this. It's just it caught me by surprise that this was even mentioned in the official thing here, because I don't remember hearing it on the first listen. So maybe I'll catch it on my second listen. That's all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the town hall, or at least what I've shared here with you guys in the comment section below. Would love to continue the conversation there. I will catch up with you in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.